No, you're absolutely right, bro. It's not just what we need to do; it's what we need to stop doing. Um, even when I go into the office there as well, like, and I talk to agents, it's
Yeah.
so used to building bad habits, right? Like
Yeah.
if you've been doing something a particular way for a long time and you have some kind of results,
Yes.
right? It's really easy to say, well, this is just the way I've been doing it all the time. Well,
Exactly. This is just how it is. This is just
this
the
is how it
program.
is.
Yeah.
And if you want to take the step up, you
Yes.
actually have to, in some sense, take a step back and say, okay, I'm not going to do this thing anymore.
No.
Even though it's easy,
Yes.
or I've been doing it this way for so long,
Yeah.
I need to actually remove this part of my process and do this way in order to take the next step.
100%. And if you're serious about getting results, if you're serious about making changes, you have to look at the things that the high performers are doing. And
Right.
you also have to look at what you're not doing currently. If you just
Right.
make those little adjustment on what you're doing currently versus what you want to be doing and what your competitor or your coworkers are doing, then it's a totally different game. And like I know, if you work in any business, executives move differently in their personal and professional life than the actual people at a certain level.
Real talk. They move differently, bro.
Yeah.
One of the things that I realize more and more as I spend time with those level people is the way they manage their time, bro. Like we've talked about this before,
Yes.
right? I mean, you've been always great with your time.
Yes.
But differently disciplined with their time. Like,
give an example.
So my direct report, she's actually one of the owners of the company as well.
Yeah.
And she told me, she's like, Leighton, in the morning, imagine a jar, okay? She says, what I do, what the average person does is they fill their jar with the sand, right?
Yes.
And at the end of the day, they take the big golf balls and try to fit it into the container with sand. But it doesn't fit because you put all the sand in there, right?
Yeah.
And she says, like, I wake up 5 o'clock, walk my dog, everything, and then I get in front of my computer. And all of those, the golf balls, I take care of those things first. So all the big stuff, I get done in the middle of the day, right at the beginning of the day.
Yeah.
So that you can fill the rest of the jar with sand afterwards. All of the small ancillary stuff you can take care of throughout the day.
Yeah.
You got big stuff taken care of in the middle of the day, at the beginning of the day. So it's like, for me, when I listen to that, it's like, okay, this is how you're able to accomplish so much in the day.
Yes.
Because you're taking care of the big stuff early.
Yes.
Just like the little emails, the little fires that you have to find and whatever throughout the day.
Exactly.
And it really means that if you want to do other things as well, the low priority stuff can really wait. Because the high priority stuff was done before 9 o'clock.
And you're absolutely right. Because you're absolutely right, brother. Because the high priority stuff gives you a higher outcome, gives you higher productivity, gives you a higher position even, you know what I mean? So if you're able to do those things early, you'll get more responsibility, you'll have more accountability, you'll perform at a higher level, you'll have more of an emotional control of your emotions, you'll be more emotionally stable, then you'll be more motivated because you'll be like, okay, it's not as taxing or stressful on your mind or your body. So you're able to work smarter. And then in working smarter, you get leverage. And then in the leverage, then you can actually work harder. But it's not really hard work like when you're doing the grunt work. It's more now you got to stay up longer, plan for the next day, do your presentations. It's more planning.
Yeah.
And then the execution just comes easily. But you save so much more time, fam, when you move that way. Yes.
I'm telling you, bro.
Yeah.
Like you said, I watched the way some of the senior guys operate. And also I think is really interesting. So one of the other guys, I said to him, his inbox is mad. Like I thought my inbox was crazy. Like I'm getting emails all the time and I try to make it a habit.
Yeah.
Getting my inbox down to below 5 before I go to bed, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people can't do that.
Yeah.
But I spoke to him because his inbox, he's getting hundreds of emails. He's like copied on everything.
Wow.
People always, think because they have a relationship,
and
they just refer everything right to the top.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And even the smallest thing. I'm like, so how do you manage like all of these different requests and stuff?
Yeah.
And he says, you know, Leighton, it's funny. Like a lot of these stuff that I get, I look at them and I'm like, you know what? These sort of things will resolve themselves if you don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like sometimes people are coming to you with stuff that is really, they can figure it out, right? There's somebody else that is better suited to taking care of it.
Yes.
Like if I respond to it, I just bring myself into the
it's the mud. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So just stay out of the mud and let those guys in the mud figure it out. Because
100%.
we're doing with this at this level.
100%. And the thing is, it gives you, once again, like we were saying before, it gives you more time to focus on the things that are crucial and the harder, more difficult tasks. If you do those earlier in the day, then you can put out the fires later on in the day. It's not as exhausting, because if you have to do the difficult things later on in the day, like after 3, after 4 o'clock, you'll be spent. Especially now, these guys are waking up 5 o'clock, waking up 6 o'clock, and getting their day started. That's including working out, showering, eating, or working out, eating, right? And then productivity wise, they're going hard. If you start your day earlier, even just 6 o'clock, you start your day at 6, 7, 8, 9. You get 3 hours ahead of other people.
Dude, that adds up, man. What is that? 7 3 is 21. That's a whole extra day.
Exactly. That's an extra day on top of that's on top of. Now watch. If you do that once a week, that's times 4. 21 times 4. Okay, so that's 80. That's 8. Isn't that 84?
84.
That's 84 extra hours that you have on top of people that may be starting at 9, maybe starting at 10, right? True. How much more productivity can you get, right? And that's just 84 hours extra in 1 month. In a year, you know what I mean? So you're already ahead of the game by just starting early, right? Yeah. And if you start early, and based on my personal experience, you get to finish earlier.
Yes, it's true. No, I agree. Yes. And you know what? There's a knock-on effect to that as well, because, you know, some people say, okay, you know, I go to bed at 12 and 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, right? And I get my 8 hours, let's say, right? 8 hours. Well, you know, I remember listening to this study, and look, I'm no, you know, sleep scientist.
Yeah.
I hear these things, right? And one of them was saying is like, even though you get maybe 8 hours, at a certain time of the day, the quality is different. Like the quality of sleep you get from going to bed 9, 10 o'clock, as opposed to someone going to bed at 1, 2 o'clock, even though it's the same 8 hours, the quality is different. So if you go to bed early and wake up early, you're much more alert, you're much more refreshed. Like the quality of sleep is so much better. Rather than going to bed late and then getting up at 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, right? So it's like somebody that does that, wakes up early, refreshed, they get 2-3 hours worth of work done, they go to the gym, they go swimming, they get to the work office at 9 o'clock, all they're dealing with is ancillary stuff. It's like, wow, how does this person have all the extra time? They actually got started before you. That's why, you know what I mean? And so I really respect, you know, her and what she's done, because you know, she's challenged me in a lot of different ways, and I've seen it pay off. So definitely there's something to be said for just watching the people ahead of you and what they do and mimicking that. But also, as you said earlier, what they don't do.
Yeah, what they don't do. They don't stay up too late. They don't ignore important things. Like, they don't put it aside. They do all the harder stuff first. They're very conscientious of their time, so they don't waste time on, you know, watching sport games or sitcoms or soap operas, the news over and over. Everything is methodically done to support a larger goal, right? And they also associate with other like-minded people that help them keep them on track, and they can kind of bounce ideas off of and have a similar lifestyle. So that's one of the things they don't do, is hang around people who can slow down their progress. That's like the number one for me. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. The circle you keep is critical, man, because you know what? You don't want to have to keep fighting fires, right? Nobody wants to be around. Imagine you have dreams and ambitions, and everybody around you all the time is telling you, oh, ridiculous, don't do that. So even though you feel like you want to deal with it, at some point you just be like, I just can't be bothered, man.
You can't.
My vision or whatever.
You can't.
It's easier to separate myself from you, right?
100.
And so yeah, like when I'm around some of those guys, and I listen to them talk like about our company and what's going forward, I'm energized because they don't think small.
No,
they think big, and
yeah,
the results have shown. Like one of the things that I noticed. So in the mortgage industry, right?
yeah,
I'm in the mortgage industry, so I see brokerages, bro. Real talk. They've been around for 20 years.
yeah,
Okay. They've been doing this for a long time.
yeah.
And in those 20 years, they're the same brokerage. If they've grown incrementally.
Wow.
Okay?
Yeah.
Company, 6 years old, gonna be listing on like an exchange in the US. That's crazy, bro. Like you go from this to that in 6 years, and guys have been around for 20 years and can't accomplish half of what these guys have accomplished.
Yes.
That's because of the size of your vision. Because the size of your vision is also going to determine the size of your hustle.
100%.
You know what I mean? If your vision is big, then your hustle has to match.
Yes,
yes. If your vision is small, you don't need a big hustle. So
yes, true.
This is why all of the waking up early,
yes,
accomplishing your goals, all that sort of is important from a leadership standpoint because they have big goals.
Yeah.
When I sit there and I talk to them, like I get excited about what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And there's also this sense where you don't have to, like, if you are pushing towards moving things forward, you don't even have to ask for permission, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I get it. Yeah, you're ambitious, you're driven. Go for it. Like, that's what we're
doing. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the type of people you want to be around on a day-to-day.
Bold, audacious goals. So they call it BAG, right? The BAG. Bold, audacious goals. So you want to be bold in your actions, be right, on point, concise, communicate well, be honest, have integrity, right? Then you have audacious. Like you have to have goals to the point where like if the vision scares you, like, whoa, that's going to be a lot. You know, what happens if I fail? Well, you don't really know until you actually do it, right? You may not fail. And goal-oriented, people who are goal-oriented don't really waste time. They invest time, right? So time for them is an investment. It's not something to be spent. It's something to be invested in return, right? So that's the thing I noticed in our conversation today. It's been all about time management. It's digging deep, but then also putting yourself out there to be vulnerable. And on the other side of it, you'll get the lessons you need to succeed, right? Like I know for me, a lot of the guys who do well in my industry, because I'm in the trades, right? They wake up early. They have a skill. Like they make sure they're always improving on their skill. They communicate well with others. They're honest with what they can do from what they can't do. So they know what's expected of them and what they expect from the company as well. So they play fair, right? They don't do anything that's unfair or dangerous, right? And on top of that, they always ask, why are you doing this? Like, what do you see yourself doing down the line? And like, you know, everybody has to go home to their family or to their partner. So everyone wants to go get their job done and come back safely, right? So it's giving me a different perspective where before I was just hustling, just running around like, you know, like a hungry dog behind a meat truck. Now I'm like, okay, I can kind of have a steady source of income, stability, and I can plan. And then the planning, I also start to realize like, okay, you know what? It works out when you're around a different group of people who can show you a different side of the game. And then that way you can learn to work smarter. And then when you work smarter, it just leverages to other opportunities, right? So,
dude, 100%, man, 100%. You know what I would love you to talk about here, bro? And I kind of know where you go with it, but I'm gonna get this set up anyway. The importance of having the right and good quality tools to do what you do.
Oh, bro. The right tools. Okay, so the right tools, brother, can help you save time.
Yep.
It helps you stay in a positive vibration. Mental health is key because you're less frustrated, less annoyed, less angry, less shameful if you break stuff, right? Yep. And the right tool at the right time can actually benefit you monetarily too, right? Because if somebody doesn't have the particular tool that you need, then you got to like, okay, you got to call someone, wait for them to come from wherever they are to bring it to you. You got to go to the store if they have it, and you're going to have to spend the money to buy the tool. You know what I mean? So in going through those different situations and experiences that I had to work in, I've learned, okay, it costs me money now, but the investment will pay dividends later.
That's the one.
That's the key, bro. And that you can only get by putting yourself in situations where you need to go, okay, I don't have the tool for this, but the next time, and then the next time, and then the next time, and then your tool bag just starts to be like a bag of tricks.
Bro.
Different tools for different situations.
Man, the tool bag, bro. I'm telling you, man.
Yeah.
You know what? And you know, in your business and in the role that you play, you know, the tools are very what's the word to say? Like physical. They're physical tools, right?
Yes.
But you know, in life and in general and in business, there's things that we use in order to do our jobs better, right?
Yes.
You know, phones, scripts, whatever it is, right? We use to be able to accomplish those goals.
Yes.
And, you know, one of the things that is underappreciated and overlooked in non-trades type business is that there are tools that can make your job as an employee.
Yes.
So, you know, everybody's an entrepreneur, but even as an employee can make your life easier and make you more productive and therefore make you more valuable to the company and increase your income, right?
Buddy, that is important because if you have the tools, then you make the rules.
Oh, okay.
Straight up, right?
If you have the tools, you make the rules. This guy's dropping some nuggets, man. Gee whiz. But real talk, bro.
It's the truth, though, bro, because you get paid based on what you can do in your department and in your company. Yeah. But you have tools within you that you've learned over time to say, you know what, for this particular role or project or presentation, I'm going to need these tools to present properly, or these tools to make sure that these guys have the tools they need to close the deal. It's the same thing. I work with physical tools. You may work with non-physical tools, digital tools, but they're still used to solve a problem, right?
100%, bro. And you know what? And this is something that I wish more people understood. And when you're working within a company, if you are always thinking, I need this, but I have to get them to pay for it, you may never get it.
Never get it.
Right? And since you never get it, you never get a chance to shine. You know what I mean? So like sometimes it's like, all right, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to have to take this out of my personal pocket. And pay for this subscription to learn X. Or a digital tool to pay for this app. To be able to do this better. And yes, it's coming out of my personal pocket. But you know what's going to be beneficial? When they look at your production and nobody can say anything about your results. How did you get this? Well, maybe I just paid $15.99 a month for this thing over here that really helped me, but you don't know that. So when you look at me now, you're going to increase my salary by X amount because you see my production, but it's going to cost me $15.99 to get this app or this tool. We talked about ChatGPT all the whole time. Like, industry's changing completely. Completely, right? Now, however you can integrate to your system, but that's free. But imagine if it was paid. There's a ton of people that would be absolutely worth it. So even if you had to pay $20 a month for ChatGPT, your job is a copywriter, or your job is a social media marketer,
or like a proofreader or editor and author, all of those things, right?
All of those things. Boom. ChatGPT is worth it. So you got to look at what is the outcome that you want. I want to be able to demonstrate my results. Okay, maybe I'm going to have to invest some money up front to get X so I can be able to do it. Get paid on the back end. So you got to invest that money into yourself, into your job, into your business in order to move forward.
Hey, brother, if you're not going to invest in yourself, then any other investment is foolery, because you and me or anybody watching this, you're the number one investment. If you're not willing to invest in yourself, that's a problem. You have to go to like a course or maybe a weekend where you can do like self reflection and self-analysis of yourself, because at this point in the game, bro, at this point, 2023, February. If you don't know your purpose, things under you will just shift, and not necessarily in a good way, because everything is changing now more than ever. You have to be as dynamic as possible. And if you have to have a purpose in your purposeful life, and you're understanding what you're good in, what you're not good in, what you want from what you don't want, where you're going, where you predicted yourself to be 20, 30 years from now, it's going to be a slippery slope, man.
Yeah, bro.
So the right tools will help you get the right results. If you don't have the tools, you're done for. Or you'll have to pay somebody who knows how to use their tools to help you.
Right, exactly. You know what I mean? And that in itself isn't scalable, man. So you gotta invest in yourself. You gotta learn and keep growing, man. Like as you said, if you don't believe in you, why should anybody else believe in you? You don't believe in yourself enough to invest in yourself, then why would anybody else invest in you?
Exactly.
So, you know, I look at some of the things that I've been able to accomplish over the years, and it hasn't been without struggle, but it also hasn't been without, you know, people pouring into my life, right? Like we talked about, me being in this space right now, is, you know, you poured into my life, shared with me some of your story and some of those things that inspired me. It says, yeah, this is a goal that is reachable. And you and I both know this was not easy to accomplish.
Yes.
A lot of stress.
Yes.
Get to this point, right?
Yes.
You know, we were willing to make that investment of time, of resources, and to get to where we are, man. And so, you know, that would be my encouragement to anybody. Like if you're looking at the results and saying you're not satisfied with them, then look at where you're investing, and that not just money, but where you're investing your time.
Yeah.
Where are you investing your time? What are you putting your time in? Are you investing yourself in skills? Are you investing yourself in the people that you spend time around? Are you investing, you know, your money even? Like where are you spending your money?
Yes.
There's this, you know, scripture that says, you know, where your treasure is, there your heart will be also, right? And I listened to somebody explain it differently, and he said, if you look at your money, then you can tell what your heart is following.
Yes.
Also means if you change where you put your money, your heart will also follow that.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So looking at where you're spending your money, and it will start to change how your heart and your desires and what you're looking for, right? And so if you're looking for your different results, okay, these are the results that I want, but I'm spending my money over here. Well, if I spend my money towards where the result I'm looking for, my heart will follow that.
100%. And that's the thing, right? Your heart will follow where your money is. So people spend money on things that they enjoy, things that make them feel better, bills, food, a lot of money on food, gas for their vehicle, like rent or mortgage. But there has to be more than just that. Those things are just living life. What about investing in yourself, doing a course, doing an e-course? There's tons of free ones online. Investing in like learning a skill, or investing in even a physical business or a non-physical business, something to do with that'll push you and give you the encouragement to give you more, add to your purpose, right? But if you don't do that, you're just existing, right? And you have to have the right mindset. Well, we talked about all these different things that you're going through and I'm going through. It takes having the right mindset, a positive mindset, but a can-do mindset, and also looking at the end result and believing that it can be possible. Because if you don't believe, you can't achieve.
Can't achieve it, bro.
You can't, right? And then if you give up hope, then it's a short life for the hopeless, right? So you have to have hope that you can achieve things and go for it, man. And Leighton and I have been doing it in real time. It hasn't been easy, but life isn't easy. And honestly, if it's not going to be easy, I'd rather be striving for my goals than just having a difficult life and just existing. It's misery, bro.
Life is going to be difficult anyway. You might as well go towards something, a favorable outcome at the end of it, right? Because regardless whether you're a billionaire or you're crawling from the bottom financially, it's going to be difficult in some aspects. So you might as well be going towards something.
Yeah, absolutely, fam.
I listened to Steve Harvey. I don't know if you saw the video.
Mm-hmm.
So there's two. One was he talked about his day, starting early. Like this
Yeah.
guy, hundreds of millions of dollars. His day starts early. He's
Yeah.
recommended. He's going through book.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's working a good, 12, 14 hours a day, right? At least.
Wow.
Also, at that level. But he also said something that was interesting. He told a story about Robert Johnson. You ever heard of this guy?
Robert Johnson is the guy who sold ET.
No, it's another billionaire. I'm pretty sure he's the guy who paid off the student loans. Yeah, what's his name? Billionaire Robert Smith. Sorry,
Robert Smith. Okay, yeah.
He paid off the student loans for the Morehouse students when he came to do the commencement speech, right?
Wow.
Yeah. So this guy,
that's big.
I think he's an investor. He's got, I don't know if he's a private equity guy or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna butcher the story a little bit, but he says so Steve Harvey, Steve Harvey's got money.
Yeah.
He doesn't have Robert Smith money. Robert Smith money is different, right?
Yeah.
So Robert Smith money, he goes to Robert Smith's house and he says, when the door opens, lady comes to the front. I guess she's like the property manager or she manages the household or whatever. And she says to him, when anybody comes to meet him, you've got 30 minutes. Okay. So 30 minutes, this is your time. So he's all right. So he goes in, he sits down with Robert Johnson and they're talking or whatever. Sure enough, coming up to 30 minutes, the lady shows up. Okay. And Robert Johnson goes, 5 more minutes. Okay. So she goes. Okay.
Yeah.
She comes back again. Right?
Yeah.
It's okay. 5 more minutes. Right?
Yeah.
And then she's gone. Then the third time he comes back, it's like, don't come back. And they spent 7 hours together.
Wow.
So this first lesson, the first thing that showed me was, it wasn't just that he valued his time, because you always value your time.
Yes.
When you get to that level, it's not just about you saying no to meetings or whatever. It's having a process to make sure that your time isn't wasted.
Yeah, it's true. And he did that. I mean?
So that lady knew what the process was. He didn't have to say to Steve Harvey, From the moment Steve entered the door, he knew he had 30 minutes. There's times when people will come and they'll waste your time. It's because right at the beginning of the conversation, you need to be able to say, I got 5 minutes.
Word. Yo, that's a game changer.
You see what I'm saying? I got 5 minutes. So they're not surprised when 5 minutes come and it's like, I gotta go. Yeah. Right? So he had a plan in place. So as soon as Steve comes through the door, the lady knows, tell him, you got 30 minutes.
Yeah. So he knows he has to get to business. Yeah.
It's business. So that way, Robert Smith can decide if it's worth giving you more than 30 minutes.
100%. 100%.
7 hours.
Yeah.
One thing that I thought was so interesting in that conversation was he said, Robert Smith told him, okay, you want to bring, horses and cattle to your ranch? Great. You want to bring 3,000 horses? How do you bring 30,000? How do you bring 300,000? You want to change 300 lives? How do you change 3,000 lives or 300,000 lives?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So the way that a guy at that level thinks is not just big, it's massive. As you said, it's a bag. He's going for a bag, a real bag, right?
Yeah.
So not only is he protecting his time, but the time that he uses are for big things, not just, we're not talking small stuff.
No.
Right? So those were the two things, but I thought it was like really profound listening to him talk about that with Robert Smith.
Well, then here's the thing. I agree. Robert Smith, I'm going to do my research, look him up, read about his life and how he got to where he is. But he's absolutely right. I think that in life, at the end of our lives, when we're laying in our hospital bed or at home in bed or on the beach or wherever you're at your last breath, are you going to regret the things you didn't do or regret the things you did do? And I think a lot of people think about failing and they can't live through failing. But I can live with that because I failed. I've gotten comfortable in failing because it takes courage to fail, right? And then once you don't really fail until you give up. So you just got to keep going, and it adds to your mental Rolodex of experience. Because I may be 40, but I have experience like a 65-year-old because I put myself out there. So when you get around people who are older, they're like, oh, you're young, but you're wise beyond your years. And it's not that. I'm just wise from experience. So he's saying, go out there. You can do 300 things, but what about 3,000 lives? What about 300,000 lives? What about 3 million lives? And if you're making decisions to help more than 10, 20, 30, 100,000, 10,000, 100,000, a million lives, you don't really have time to even be worried about what if this doesn't work. It's going to pull that type of effort out of you, right? So these are the things, fam. And these are the conversations I love to have, because after you have them and really think about it, there's a growth there. There's a gap between where you are now and where you want to go. And that gap can help you get to there. So if you don't have those gaps or opportunities for you to think about the next thing, you kind of get stagnant and complacent. And when you get complacent, every day opportunities will pass you up that can have you further in the future, right? Further ahead. So yeah, bro, 100%, man.
Dude.
Bag.
Yeah, we cover so much, man. No, we're coming up to 30 minutes.
Yes, sir.
So I'm sure anybody that listens to this, if they don't feel inspired, they got no heart, man. And there's something wrong with them, because even just listening to what you just said and whatnot, bro, like there's just so much there, man. There's so much opportunity to grow. So much we've already been through and grown, but there's still so much further for us to keep going. So yeah, man, we're gonna have to do another episode of this.
Absolutely,
real soon, bro.
And we just got to stay consistent and just keep spreading the message, because once we leave this earth, we want to make sure that these messages can last thousands of years. This content can keep going and surpass us, maybe be carried on by other people, right? So the biggest goal is to inspire, right? And to educate those who need different types of content, right?
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely,
yes, sir.
Let's keep it going, man.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna head to another service call.
Okay, look at this guy, eh?
Yeah,
homie.
yeah. It never ends, bro. Can't stop, won't stop.
That's it, man. I love it,
yeah,
man.
Fam.
Love it, bro.
So all the best, bro. Much love.
Yeah, man. Same to you too, man. Love to the fam.
We'll catch up again. Love to the fam. Kiss the little one, right?
We'll do.
We'll keep in touch, bro. We'll do another one. We'll do another one.
Yeah, man. No doubt about it.
All right, bro.
All right, man.
Peace and love.
Peace, man.
Peace.
Bye.